rook on the wrong side of the board without support.
But you know, Alireza, he's not playing the most natural move quickly. There's something about knight e4 because it's screaming to be played. You know, it's the hand move, or in this case, the mouse move, that you really want to rush into playing. But he doesn't like something about it, David.
Yeah, I don't really see why not. Maybe it's the fact that the black bishop has the ability to challenge the light squares. Either way, Alireza, he's tanked for too long on this move. The difference on the clock is telling. They say a pawn is worth a minute, and now he's currently almost 2 minutes down. Magnus is going to be gaining in confidence the longer this position doesn't see a move. Alireza really needs to speed up. It feels like this final so far, there we go, the most natural move, just took too long. And okay, Magnus instantly ready with his response.
And that's the problem. You take that long, your opponent knows exactly what he's going to play to the first move that comes to everyone's mind here.
It also signals to Magnus. Alireza has been in the tank. He's thinking about an alternative. While your opponent's time is ticking down, you get to have a think yourself about what other moves he was thinking about, which means later on in the game, you're prepared for those ideas and you've used your opponent's time to come to that realization.
Exactly. The best players, the most practical players in the world, they have all these little tricks to save a few seconds here and there. Magnus, look how zoned in, how focused he is, despite the fact it's not his move. 2.5 minute time difference now. You need to either move that knight or defend it. It's that simple.
I'd be staring at the RGB on the keyboard. That would be too distracting for me. I don't think I could handle it. More pieces piling on the knight on e4 now. And look at the time difference. 4 minutes plays a minute 20. This is becoming critical for Alireza.
And he's trying to desperately calculate here with this remaining minute. What will happen if black next move takes this knight? You can take with the bishop, maybe even with the rook, and tactics will start to land on this board. The white king in the corner is very, very vulnerable. Endgames might be imminent, but Firoujza just doesn't have time to work them out. He's spending way too long. 1 minute versus 4 now.
He's thinking for far too long in this game. I mean, this is just unbelievable, right? Because we're on move 27 and the biggest decisions lie ahead right now. Magnus Carlsen, he might be down upon, but he's not going to make your life easy. Now there are tactics. This is why you need to think. And the board goes red, the clock goes red for Alireza.
Move. Come on, you have to move. Push your pawn to d6. Do whatever. Move a rook. You are fine.
35 seconds. He's frozen.
Alireza Firoujza freezing there, making a rook move. And look at this counter strike by Magnus Carlsen, taking the white knight off the board, double exclamation mark. He's counterattacking against the white queen. Look at what's about to happen. All the rooks coming off. White's 2 rooks are forked there. One of them had to give their life up. Magnus has equalized this endgame. It's level, but not on the clock.
And Magnus is now going to play to flag Alireza Firoujza. His rook, the more active one. Magnus about to pick up the d5 center pawn. He's just thinking, does he throw in the check? He decides not to. And that is Magnus Carlsen thinking to himself. He knows this is a draw. Is he going to play for dirty flagging with 26 seconds for his opponent?
Have to be ruthless here. If you're Magnus Carlsen, do not let your opponent off the hook. Firoujza, if the shoe was on the other foot, he would be playing for time right now.
3.5 minutes versus 26 seconds. At this point, it's not dirty, it's expected.
He plays on. He 100% plays on. He's going to play this on even with an hour on the clock. It's an endgame. You know, he sees the imbalances, and look at that. He thought he'd force Alireza into a think about this, and Alireza makes a wrong decision. This is what happens when you have no time on the clock against the world number 1.
Exactly. It's easy for black to create a pass pawn on the right flank on the king side, 3 versus 2. Very difficult actually for white's 3 to mobilize because black's 2 double b pawns hold the fort. The white 3 cannot bypass them. The black king is coming. It was actually better there for the black b pawn to push even further to b4. That's a very natural move though from Magnus, and Alireza simply physically does not have enough time to finish this game. Under 20 seconds now. Some big decisions still ahead. Magnus, a bit of a shake of the head. Firoujza there, echoing that. Same for him. He knows he's going to get flagged.
One of Firoujza's biggest strengths is just the number of moves, the sheer number of moves he can get in under 20 seconds. But this position, where every move needs to be calculated, every mistake can be a losing move, that is hard. 17 seconds, David, Magnus gets this done.
You would say that, but Firoujza, this last move is fantastic. The white king is holding the black king. It's keeping it honest. If the black king ever gives way, the white king steps forward. Firoujza with 16 seconds. It's actually quite an easy draw now. But does he have time? That's the big question. Magnus has really slowed down.
This would be god-level hold by Alireza Firoujza if he manages to save this king pawn ending with only 15 seconds against Magnus.
Magnus smiling because he knows it's a dead draw. There's no way through for the Black King into the white half of the board. The Black King can try all at once, but there's no path forward, and the Kings are already starting to dance.
It's a fortress. And a repetition.
Draw by repetition. 2 minutes and 2 seconds plays 14 seconds, but we were reduced to a position where all Alireza Firouzja had to do was move the Kings backwards and forwards. An attempt was made to see if a mistake could be forced under time pressure, but Alireza hold. Magnus Carlsen 1.5, Alireza Firouzja a half.